Hi guys, and welcome to Planet Coaster. Really weird to be saying that. So for those that don't know, Planet Coaster is like a theme park simulation game, and I've always loved them from Roller Coaster Tycoon, Theme Park World. I used to have them all, and so when this game was announced, I was just fanboying like crazy, and so I've been watching so many videos like this basically for the past year or so since the alpha, and obviously I've been building my own stuff. I purchased the early bird of Planet Coaster and I've been building, and I finally thought it was about time that I gave this YouTube thing a go myself with Planet Coaster, so here we are. What we're building today is we're building Hagrid's hut from Harry Potter. It was quite difficult to get the shape right, because obviously it's not a square, and when you try and build anything outside of the grid on Planet Coaster you end up having to throw a load of buildings together, so there were problems with that. And also trying to get the right textures. I was looking for, as you can see right now, I used the sandstone walls, but then really struggled because there weren't many non-gridded pieces that were sandstone, so we end up also using this sort of castle wall brick. So that's what we're going with now. I wanted to do sort of windows that could actually open up as well, so that's why I'm trying to fit them around these sort of holes in the wall. I know that Planet Coaster sort of builds it so that you place the windows on the wall, but I wanted to do it so you could open up the windows, see inside, because we're going to be building both the interior and the exterior. As you can see there, I'm kind of struggling a little bit with the shape. I do get there eventually. Also, you'll see I've placed down the little Archer Man to try and get the sizing right. You'll notice how he looks very small, but you have to remember that Hagrid's hut is a lot bigger. Hagrid is a giant after all. So there is one point where I'm building a chair and it looks like, I don't really know. It looks like I'm doing it way oversized. But actually it's probably about right for what we're looking for. So yeah, the Planet Coaster, amazing game. If you haven't got it already, I'd recommend going and getting it. They've just released the Spooky Pack. I think Spooky Pack comes out, most people think, oh, you know, dark rides, haunted houses, but I got the Spooky Pack. I saw pumpkins, I saw crows, I saw rats, I saw all this stuff, and I just thought Harry Potter. I had to start building some Harry Potter stuff, so I think what we're mainly going to be focusing on, what I found I'm good at on Planet Coaster, I'm not so good at the coaster building. I know there's a lot of people out there that are amazing at coaster building. Mine always come across looking terrible and jerky and not that great. I'm pretty good, I'd like to think, with the scenery pieces. As you can see, that's what I'm doing here. And so I think that's mainly what I'm going to be focusing on. If this video gets a few hits and you want to see more, then that's probably what I'm going to be focusing on, doing some scenery, maybe making some more geeky things. If you have a look at my workshop, then there's a couple of things on there. I've got some like Doctor Who things. I'll maybe show them up on screen now. I've got the TARDIS. We've got a huge selection of Daleks and spaceships, so please check them out on the workshop. But yeah, I think this is my biggest build to date, and it's the only one I've really started where I thought I'm going to build something for the workshop. So I thought, why not document it on YouTube? So here we are now. I'm going on with the roof. I always find roofs really difficult on Planet Coaster. They have some really good in-game ones, but they never quite suit what I'm trying to do. So obviously it ends up being custom roofs. These are tips I've picked up from other YouTubers. I'm not going to pretend to have come up with this myself, but it's just a case of like getting that middle point and then rotating it round like that. And I think it ends up looking really good. We've got some nice new textures from the Spooky Pack. I don't remember what they're called, Haunted Wall or something. You'll see me get that one now. This piece here, and it looks really good. It's exactly what I was looking for. I kind of think the whole building might have looked good in this, but I didn't find it until just this point, so here we go. So as you can see, just mapping out the roof, and then what I do, delete that side, copy it around, and then spin it off on the axis. Trying to find a topper here, like, I don't know what it's called, like a spire for the middle of the roof. Really struggling. I wanted to cover up the sort of nasty mess of pieces coming together in the middle there, so I wanted something that was quite big to cover that, but I didn't want it to be overbearing. I ended up having to use some of the art shapes, and some of the baubles, which is just, again, something I've stolen from other YouTubers I've seen using it. I think it works really well. Just getting it centered, and then I don't actually put the roof on straight away because I wanted to work, as I've said, I want to do the interior as well. And working on interiors when you're in an enclosed space is really difficult, so what we do is once we've finished getting the roofs together, we then start decorating the interior before we actually put the roofs on. Again, we do the same kind of thing here as we did for the bigger roof, just on a slightly smaller scale. Some of these are not quite at the same level. I did have a lot of problems on this build with Z fighting. That's one of the things I'm hoping they can do something about in the future, but I'm not sure there's much they can do. But I just find whenever I'm building anything, I end up with all my pieces like clipping across each other, and then you get the Z fighting, which you can see there, so I'm having to sort of lower some down and pull some up a little bit. But I don't think it's too noticeable in the end. Again, just getting another one of them spires, and then we've finished with the roofs pretty much. Just going to sort out some of these walls now because they don't all want to have windows on. And then we're going to move on to the interior. I will say, sorry, there's a couple of clips missing from this. I didn't realise that my video editing decides to cut out after an hour, so I did miss some of the interior decorating and some other little bits, but I'll talk you through what we've missed. So we're using some of these new spooky pieces from the spooky pack here for the decorating the interior. Use the wallpaper there as a sort of rug. I think that works really well. Did try the fireplace that was provided, that that was in the spooky pack, but I just thought, because Hagrid's a giant, it was just too small. It just didn't work, so we end up building our own here. We are using some of the spooky pieces, that wood paneling, and we do keep the logs underneath. The new fire as well. I was considering doing it green, just to be like flue powder or something, but then Hagrid doesn't really use magic, so I thought I'll just stick with a normal fire. Again, looking at some of the spooky pack furniture, it's just too small for the room, so I go ahead and try and build our own table. This was a mistake on my part, because in my head I was remembering Hagrid having a square table, so I spent a good 5 or 10 minutes building this table, and then I actually went online and had a look at some pictures. Found out that his table is circular, so you'll see there'll be a cut in a minute where we'll change it into a circular table, because I have a look on the internet and change it. Really like them candles, lovely piece for the spooky pack, and I'm just dotting out some of the light in there that we can use throughout the building. I am going to light it as well so it does work at night. And here you can see me taking that piece and just making the table circular. Had a lot of problems with the Z fighting again, so just go around and just lower and some of them so that you don't get it quite as much. Throwing the legs on the table, and then you will see in a second there's a little bit of a cut. I cut it out because I thought it was quite boring. I basically, right there, I went through all the scenery pieces and picked out every single scenery piece I thought that could fit in Hagrid's hut, because obviously it needs to be very cluttered in there. We need lots of scenery, and it just seemed easier to get it all out in the open rather than constantly going through the scenery tab and searching for things. So there's our new table going inside, and then we're just going to take all these pieces that we found and throw them into the building. Apologies if there's too much movement in this video for you guys. I have sped up the footage like 10 times. There was quite a lot of footage. And there is a lot of moving around. Interior decorating, it's really difficult to do without moving around a lot. So apologies for that. Throwing in some decorations here into the bookshelves. I found it a bit difficult because once something's in the bookshelf you can't select it anymore. It's quite awkward. So we end up having to sort of edit the colour of the books and things before we put them in the bookshelves, but otherwise I love the bookshelves. Really nice addition. And I love all the books as well, the different book options we've got. Overall I'm really happy with the spooky pack. It's worth the £8 if you haven't picked it up already. Throwing some of these tools in here. The snowman ones are quite oversized, but I thought that worked quite well for Hagrid because he's a giant again. What are we doing here? Lots of movement. Sorry about that, guys. As I say, interior decorating without moving the camera around, really difficult. Yeah, just throwing in all these bits and bobs that we've picked up. And I think I'm going to leave it here for the commentary. It's lots of sort of interior decorating now. I'll let you carry on watching that. So yeah, I hope you like the Planet Coaster videos. I'm hoping to do some more in the future, see what you guys think. If you have liked, then leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. I'm definitely wanting to do more of this in the future. Probably, again, sticking to these little workshop pieces. I'm probably not going to do a full park, just because, as I've said, I'm not that great at the coaster building at the side of it. But I might do a bit of park building. See how we get on. Probably more geeky little builds like this one. So yeah, I'm going to leave you with the video now. And as I say, leave a like, leave a comment, and subscribe if you've enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.
Bye.